What's going on, everybody? Happy Monday. Welcome back to another watch list video. Hopefully we're all studying, getting outside, reading books, finding fun hobbies to do while the market is going through this period. Unless you've been short, there's been some nice opportunities in the last few weeks. If so, great work. Me personally, I definitely could have been short more stocks into like a day like today, but something I'm studying more to continue improving on personally. But there has been some clean short setups in the last week or two, so that is interesting. Your NQ, you're getting just a little mini bounce. You had an inside day today. Not my favorite look. Looks like it wants to go lower. You look at the Kospi, same thing, kind of just like in no man's land. So we'll see where that ends us up. But we're getting pretty close to the prior pivot. So I will say that's probably an area where I would expect this thing to maybe get some sort of a bounce. The dollar back above the 20-day, kind of breaking out of that double inside day, or just about. But you look at the weekly chart, like I talked about yesterday. Nice flag and a nice move today overall. So maybe not a good thing for your stocks, but I mean you are building a nice little flag here on the dollar, which looks pretty good. Crude oil, right? Slowly rejecting that 50-day and the gap. Oil stocks, they're still acting awesome, but some of them are coming short-term extended. Not going to go through all of them, but definitely wouldn't be buying a lot of these names. Like just for example, Dino, like well out of its base. You don't want to be buying it up here. Maybe see some short-term pullback. Maybe the market's bounce or something as far as your NASDAQ. Silver, I think silver and gold still look horrible, and they're building a shelf, right? They're at support, so you don't want to be shorting right at the support line, but kind of 3 days pretty much tight. Looks to me like these things are going to get ready to move lower. I do like SG. Maybe that's the wrong one. Or AG, sorry. I do like AG here for a short. You're kind of building a nice little shelf inside today. If you flip the chart, it's a nice flat base here being built out. I don't know why my drawings are not there, but nice flat base and an inside day today, so that will be super interesting. But nonetheless, I don't know if I'll be shorting these names all the way down here. TNX did have a nice little move today, so another thing that won't be the best for your stocks. Another like bad breath day today. Breath just continues to not be very good over the last few weeks, right? You look at Pradeep's, same thing. 200 stocks down, 100 up, blah blah. Almost 130 stocks down and 82 up. So breath still not good. Obviously, that's what you're going to see when the market is breaking down. But it's nice, right? It's good to see something like the QQQ, lose a 50, live below it, and break down, right? As long as you can be patient, or as long as you've been short, it's a good time to study and get ready for the market to really move into a correctional phase, even though to me it already is, but obviously that would be 10% or more. And then after that, I'll be looking for, a bounce that will really be meaningful to me as far as like a fall through day. If we can get that move of 10% or lower and really get into a correction here, that'd be nice. Break support maybe and then rally back through would be the best case scenario. But like I said, bad breath, nothing too interesting. Best to preserve like your mental capital right now. Wait to scan all the upcoming power earnings gaps if we can actually get those, right? There's lots of earnings coming up this week, and a few next week and the week after. That'll be super interesting. A lot of moves already have made a pretty big move lower as far as for me wanting to short. There's a lot of stuff where I don't want to be shorting right into the hole. And there's also a ton of charts in no man's land. So really, I just don't see anything to do still. I have names I'm keeping an eye on maybe for a short on my list, as well as some stuff that's been holding up really well. I think if there's any group to really focus on the long side, it's definitely going to be your software or cybersecurity stuff. Besides that, everything else pretty much looks like a short, right? Your QQQ kind of rejecting that prior support, turning into resistance, living below the 50-day. The S&P 500 lost the 50-day again today, right? You gapped up, maybe trying to hold above it, and then we lost it again. So will be super interesting to see what happens from that. Your WGMI had a gap up today, back through the 200-day on the IRIN news, HUT news. But you look at HUT, and this is on my list for a short, right? Not a bad, or you kind of get a reversal candle on the 10 and 20-day. If you were able to get short this one, I think that was a good spot. Like losing VWAP or something was a nice tight risk, and a good spot. Or like you even came through to Wednesday's highs, you undercut it, or you breached it and then you failed through it. So that was even a good spot too. But either way, you're rejecting the 10, 20-day. To me, it looks like this one wants to go down. You had Wolf with some news where it gapped up and it got hammered. I think it was right at the 50 on this day. It could be wrong. Maybe it was this day. I don't know. But either way, right? The news really does not matter for these names. But it was nice to see this group kind of bounce today and show some relative strength. NBIS, right? No man's land, nothing to do, but a name I'll continue to keep an eye on. DRAM, Obviously your memory stuff, right? Inside day after the highest volume ever. To me, it still looks like it maybe wants to move lower, but we'll see what can come from this. I don't see a whole lot to do there. SNDK looks to me like it wants to go lower. Inside day looks like continuation setup to the downside. Wherever this thing will find support, I will not be a part of it for now until it can actually bounce, and maybe we'll see what it can do from there. But these things have made massive runs. It's not surprising to see them kind of getting some rest, right? Don't want to be shorting names like SanDisk when they've already made this big move down, but I also don't want to be buying it down. I don't know. Not much to do. Like I said, nothing really there for me to do. SMH, right? Another one where it's like you're living below the 50. You kind of are falling right back into support. You're riding the 5-day on the downside. So you're just rejecting the 5-day. So, I mean, this thing is just, it's not pretty out there. You shouldn't be buying gap up. You shouldn't be buying really anything. Yeah, I don't know. SMH is not my favorite look. And you can even look at Intel, right? Rejecting that prior support today. AMD, rejecting the 10 and 20 and looks like it maybe wants to lose the 50-day. I didn't throw this one on the list. Marvell, short covering kind of bounce, right? 2-day just absolutely low volume. Not a good bounce in any way. Looks to me like it's still semis look like they want to go lower, just not the area I want to focus. You look at mags, not a bad day today. Tesla got absolutely hammered. It's out of the ledge. Looks like they absolutely flushed the toilet on this one. And I think this one, like Tesla and Google both report this week. They both look like shit right now, but can they look better on a gap up? Can they be saved? It's possible, right? I threw Meta on the list because I think it looks fine, right? You pull into the 200, you kind of have a nice hammer candle with a really long bottom wick, and then almost like an inside day, not quite, but a tight day. So I will watch as if this is trying to build a higher low here off the 200, a push through Fridays/today's highs will be an interesting spot for me to watch if the market wants to gap down or something and bounce. I think that'd be interesting, but with the constant gap ups, there's no way I'm chasing any of these or even looking to the long side. There's just nothing there. It's better to sit on hands and study stocks, study prior leaders, read books. Like I said, keep yourself occupied in different areas. Apple's been fine, right? Just nice rest day today. Let this one maybe go sideways for a few days and it can act fine, but it's definitely the leader in there. Microsoft did have some nice relative strength today. Still is just really far below its 200. Throwing up the bug ETF. This is the best looking group still. Inside day to day looks fine. The rest of the group looks awesome. Most of them are on my list. If not, then I probably already own them. Like Palo Alto's not on here, but I own it. Still looks awesome. Can throw that on the list too. FTNT looks fine, right? It looks good. RBRK, we'll say this one is breaking down, kind of the laggard of the group, right? Most of the names are either at new highs or new 52-week highs. And this thing is I don't know, it's not the best, right? It got hit pretty hard on that Wednesday down move with a pretty nasty bearish engulfing kill candle, and it's just been straight down since then, acting pretty poor. So definitely not the one I'd focus on if I was looking at the group. IGV, right? Software has been nice, but I don't know how I feel about this IGV sideways. It's just, I don't know. I can't feel too much about it. But the individual software stocks like NAVN was awesome today. Frog still looks fine. IoT, not bad. Inside day today, not my favorite, but something I'm just going to pay attention to. Won't be buying these. Reddit, another one where it's like you're trying to get back above the 200, almost like a meta setup where it's trying to maybe build a higher low on the 200. Will need to see it just get back through the 200 and act better. I did not like that action last week, so not something I'm super interested in. Bitcoin, on the other hand, not a bad day today, right? You kind of had a nice washout, and then you came all the way back. So that was pretty interesting. If I'm looking at a 5-minute chart here. But yeah, I mean, not bad. It looks like it maybe wants to go higher, but nothing I'm obsessed with in any way on that one. But AVG, I'm going to get started with my list now. AVGO has a short through the prior day's low, right? You're building some sort of a, range here. And you kind of, if you look at this chart like this, right, you kind of squat right back in the range. So I will be watching that prior day low as a short spot, but I definitely think the 50-day was a good spot. Or if it wants to run back in the 50, that's a spot I'll look as well. Don't have too much to do on this one. Maybe today was a good spot as it gapped up into the declining 10 and 20, but I will watch it for a short. It's building some sort of a range in the last month, which is a CrowdStrike, right? In the really good group as far as cybersecurity software. So we'll watch how this pulls back and see if you can get a spot as a higher low. A name I already own, so don't know if I want to do too much there. You can throw PanW on this list as well. But yeah, DDOG, super nice relative strength today. It was green today, up 1.5%. Still building out that nice range. Continue building it out would look awesome. An inside day tomorrow I think would be super nice. The weekly chart's looking pretty good. So really like this one to continue building out. Dell, right? NASI closing at the lows, but I threw HPE on the list with the inside day, maybe a push into the 50 as a higher low spot. I'll watch. Same thing with Dell, right? A push into the 50 as a higher low spot. I'll watch. If not, maybe he wants to go lower, give us a double bottom base and get that undercut and rally spot. I think HPQ is another one in that kind of sort of group where you did get an inside day today. Definitely want to just keep an eye on this, but we'll have to see. I think if HPQ is going to go, I think Dell will go. So maybe it just needs a little bit lower before then. But like I said, I'm not buying these things alongside yet. It had a wedge drop. It's building like almost sideways under the 10 and 20, and you get a nasty closing at the lowest type of day. So it definitely looks to me like it wants lower. HPE looks like maybe it wants lower, but I will watch the 50-day for a higher low. HUT looks like a short through the prior day's low, if not inside day tomorrow, or like even a gap up into the 50-day, right? The 50-day is also lining up with a huge resistance gap. So you got lots of overhead supply, maybe a spot to get short like up here. On Thursday, July 9th was a nice spot. So maybe can we get that again for another lower high, or is this going to be it? I don't know. You had the news today, but it closed red. Like I said, that was a nice spot. IESC, another name I'm watching for a short, right? This is in the group of, I think, STRO, I think is the name. Yeah, which has not been very good at all. So this group is kind of getting some cool off, but this thing's going sideways in not a bad way, almost like a bear flag here. So we'll watch this thing to continue building sideways. Maybe could get a spot off the 20-day, or just watch out trade sideways. Don't want to be shorting into weakness, especially with a lot of these things have already been down the way they have, right? Don't want to be shorting into the hole on a lot of this stuff. So definitely something I want to keep an eye on. NTAP, another one I really want to pay attention to. I think this is in that same Dell sort of category as far as the group. And HPE, not a bad inside day today, but closing at the lows, losing the 10 and 20. We'll see how it acts tomorrow. Just a name I want to continue to keep an eye on. Like I talked about these ones yesterday, nice weekly charts. You had inside weeks on this one and HPE. So maybe they just trade like shit for a few days and then maybe wake up. But you got lots of earnings this week. I'll probably be paying more attention to that kind of stuff, but maybe a higher low off the 50-day. If it wants to go lower, I don't know. I'll keep an eye on it. NTNX software, super nice relative strength. This thing's got a double inside day. It's been acting pretty nice, or even a quadruple inside day inside of Tuesday's range. So it's getting pretty tight. If I go back here, it's getting pretty tight, right? I'll watch above the prior day high as a spot. That'll be super interesting for sure. You're building a nice little base here, almost right under the pivot. So inside week looks not too bad. Software group, I like it, but can the market get going? Maybe something like this can get going if the market bounces for a few days. Maybe this breaks out next. Awesome. So who knows? Okta in the cybersecurity group, software group, nice resting day. The weekly chart looks good. Continue building out the right side. One of the better looking names. QLYS, same thing, but this one had an inside day today. I will watch, see if these things want to go, but I don't want to buy them on strength. So we'll see. I just want, continue building sideways here, building a super nice range. And I am super attracted to stuff like this. Snow, same thing. Continue building out, super nice range. It's an awesome group, nice relative strength. Looks so good. But you just need the market environment, as that is the most important thing, especially over your setup, right? Setup means absolutely nothing if the market environment isn't good, right? And for those that didn't know that by now, hopefully in the last few weeks, if you've been just constantly trying to buy a long setup, even if stuff has looked really good, like you find a setup that looks awesome and it doesn't work, just shows you that the market's environment is the most important thing. So hopefully that'll be a good lesson for you. To be very patient during times like these and just let the market correct, let the names show up that are showing the best relative strength. And these could be the next big market movers when the market goes through a correction, and then has the follow through day and wants to turn up and get some sort of a higher low bounce. And then these ones will act awesome. Palo Alto also obviously on the list, looks pretty awesome and promising in the really good group. So will be another one I pay attention to, a name I own from the higher low day. So going to continue holding this one as it continues building out in a super nice way. But yeah, that's going to be it for me. Got a few backburn names. ACLS is a short, right? You're building sideways. Not my favorite though. Don't want to shorten the hole. AG I talked about. Powell, another one building sideways. Looks like a bear flag. Maybe to watch for a short. HPQ I talked about, right? NTAP is on the list. AMD will obviously continue to keep an eye on AMD if it wants to build a higher low as it continues building out this super choppy wedging action. Just continues building sideways and maybe it can get better. CECO, I think it was. Yeah, a short setup, maybe something to watch. Zeta, another long setup in the software group. So stuff to keep an eye on. Not too much out there. I won't be doing anything most likely tomorrow. Waiting for earnings, being patient, preserving mental and physical capital. And yeah, don't be trading stocks in no man's land, or there's just no edge there. So that's going to be it for me, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.